feet. Keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the reins, letting go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we are going to be recording part 2 of our color along in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I'm super excited to continue and a little bit nervous, I'm going to admit. Not only because I have high hopes for this picture and I'm not quite sure how it's going to turn out, but also because work has thrown a curveball and I don't have as much recording time as I'd have hoped for, so I really got to kick it into high gear and get it done. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Because this book likes to do this weird thing here and I don't want to wreck the binding of it, I'm going to grab a book just to pop in behind it, just to kind of level it out a little bit so it's not so hard on the binding. And then I'm also going to take a couple sheets of paper and tuck them in behind here. So I do have some colors chosen. I'm kind of at a loss for what to do for the most part for these flowers, so I'm just going to tackle the stems. We talked last time on how I was kind of thinking about doing like a greenish gold for the flowers and stems, so we're going to go ahead and start there. So I picked out some colors. I haven't tried them out though, so I'm hoping that they will work. So let's just jump in. We're just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna start with, see, the marine green. So I think this is dark enough, hopefully. And I'm just gonna come in and add a little bit of shading to these leaves. We want to be able to fit all of the colors, so we don't want there to be too much shadow. Definitely wants to leave room for the highlights. Let's maybe zoom in a little bit here. Make it a bit easier for you guys to see, and we'll probably just work on the top first anyways, so this is all we need to really see for now. Apologies if you can hear my crazy little monster in the background. Okay, so there's the marine green. I had intended to come in with the moss green, but looking at them now, I'm a little bit worried they're going to look too similar, but let's try it out and see. So I'm just going to get a nice sharp point on that too. No, I do like this color. I think actually I would use this maybe in place of the marine green, honestly. So let's just go over the marine green with this, because this has more of like a yellow hint to it. It doesn't really show in the swatch though. I mean, it kind of does, kind of doesn't. It's definitely showing up way better on this paper though. Okay, there's that. I say that a lot, don't I? And that wasn't the moss green, so that, oh my goodness, that was the green ochre. Okay. This is the moss green. In that case, I don't think we'll end up using this. I'm going to put this off to the side. So we used marine green, and then everything I just did was green ochre. So I'm going to have to make note of that. Okay, well from there, let's go in with our next color, which the only one I could think of, like going through these colors, I don't really see the ones that I'm picturing in my head. Not for the Prismacolors anyways. So hopefully we can kind of make it. So let's go in with the lime peel. So I'm going to bring this over top and just slightly out from where we've added the shadows. I'm going to try and leave a highlight for our latest color as well. Blend this out a little bit better. Get rid of some of this pencil dust I'm seeing on my page here. And then we'll go in with the chartreuse. And then this one, I think I'm just going to go over everything with and just burnish it all because I'm liking how this is looking. think we got all of them. Okay, so now we can bring this down, or I guess up a little bit, depending on how you look at it. Let's start tackling some of these other areas. So I'll start with these little viney bits. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow just every time they poke out from something or go in behind something. So it'll be the same on this side here. And then I don't want to do the grass in this color. The grass will be a different color. But most of the stems and some of these other plants will be the same color. And then I also think, just to make it kind of interesting, and because this is like a fantasy style book, I think these leaves here, since they're very similar to the bits we have up here, I'm going to do those in gold. And that'll kind of help balance as well. That way we've got some gold in this area too. And then I think it'll work because since down here we had more space in between shadows and such, so down here ended up being a lot more lighter with our yellows, which should work because up here, I don't know if I'm going to do that lamp idea I had at the beginning, but I do want to have fireflies. So we'll have little yellow dots up here, which will kind of balance that out as well. See, I think I'm going to do the stems of these flowers that have these things attached to them gold as well. So then it'll just be kind of like these middle flowers here that'll have the green on them. Make sure we're in frame. Don't want to go out of frame on you guys here. Okay, I'm going to grab our canary yellow here. I'm going to go through and base these, that way I don't accidentally color them. I'm having a hard time remembering. I think with flowers, these little bits here that connect to the petals are usually like the stem color as well. I think, or at least these ones are going to be anyways, because I'm not really sure. It's a lot more of these flowers than I realized. I'm just going to imagine these ones come down here and behind this stem, because she forgot to draw those in too, I think. Okay, and then this side as well. Carbon, go play, please. He's had a week off school here, technically more than that, counting the weekends. It's been 9 days. So he's starting to go a little stir crazy and actually missing school for once. Okay, so there's all of those. So let's go back in with our marine green and just carry on. Not marine green, that's green ochre. We're going to be adding that anyways, but I really need to actually start reading the names of these and not just picking one up and assuming it's the right one. Not really sure what I want to do with these mushrooms yet, but I love them. They're so whimsical looking. I think I'm going to bring some black in, just add some darker shadows as well for ones that are tucked pretty far back. I think that's all of them. Actually, instead of the black, let's do the dark umber. It's always better if you can put an actual color in your shadows, because it'll just add a lot more interest to it, whereas if you just add black, it's kind of mutes it down. Or at least that is what I've learned along the way too. Same with highlights. It's not always good to have white highlights. Sometimes it's better to do just like a lighter color or even like a slightly different color. Okay, so dark umber. I'm gonna add these where I think it's gonna be the darkest. So for sure underneath these guys. And then I'm also gonna add some to the stems connecting to these flowers here. Okay, this stem back here, I'm just gonna color this in pretty much all the way down because it's like right behind everything and I want that to stand out. Same with the stem on this side here. And then this one as well has a stem coming in front of it, so let's darken that up too in those areas. Maybe where this part's poking out of the grass, we'll make that a little bit darker too, but other than that, I think that's everywhere. And we went in with our marine green already, so let's actually go in with our green ochre this time. Check my pencil, it is green ochre, we're good. So as always, I'm going to pull that in over top of what we have already and I'm going to bring it out and just fade it down a little bit. Just going to add like a slight shadow, basically just a line on just one side of each of these little pieces here, that way they don't look so flat. Just going to bring the shadow out along the bottom of some of these little curly leaves here. They're so jumbled in here, it's kind of hard to keep track of all of them, but it's okay if we miss some. Also doesn't help that I'm just kind of like jumping all over the place. There, I think that's enough shadow. So next is a lime peel. So some of these shorter areas, I'm just going to go straight in with the lime peel and just color them right in. I'm not going to be able to fit another color in these. But wherever we can, we're going to save a little bit of a highlight. Even if it's just a little tiny sliver of one, it will still help make a difference. Been trying to figure out what these little circle things that she's drawn in here are. I think they're supposed to be water drops, but I'm having a hard time leaving them white, so don't really know what to do with them. Might just maybe define them with some white Posca or maybe some stickles or something. I don't know. Kind of see later on if we remember them. If not, we'll just leave them. Okay. Let's go in and add our chartreuse now. This is just pretty much going to go everywhere. We can go over everything with it. I don't know if it'll make much of a difference everywhere, but definitely make sure that we're at least focusing on the areas that we left white. Hopefully it's bright enough in here. I went to record and then realized that my dumbass forgot to plug my recording phone in. Had everything set up and everything and then had to charge it. So I had some other stuff done while it was charging, but lost a little bit of daylight. Videos are slightly getting longer now though, so hopefully we have enough time to get this part finished before we lose the good light. Okay, there is those there. So then let's go in and, so we didn't use apple green, we didn't use moss green. I'm gonna grab our other colors here from up here. Not all of these are from this page though, I've got some mixed in. So we've got cream, bronze, artichoke, deco yellow, and black. So the dark brown isn't in here. Let's start with the dark umber. So I'm going to come in and pop in some of the darkest shadows. So I don't want to get too carried away with adding shadows with this one. don't really know if these shadows make sense, but I kind of want the outlines to stand out. So I'm trying to make the edges of these pieces darker. That way they contrast against the outlines. So in the world of proper shadows, it might not make sense, but I think it'll be beneficial, hopefully. I guess we shall find out. There's one side done. There is a lot more of these than I initially expected. I think this bit here might be part of this as well. So I'm just gonna base that with canary yellow, and then I'm gonna come in and just add a little bit of the dark umber to it. before I forget, let's actually switch back to these colors here. I forgot to finish these guys, so let's do that. Let's see. I just want to make sure that we're still in decent frame here. I think if we keep it there, we should be okay. Green ochre's next. My sunlight is fading faster than I expected it to. I should say than I was hoping it would. What time is it? It's only 3:30. Maybe it's cloudy on the other side of the house. I'm not sure. It's the only trouble with my art room. I get the morning sun, which is nice, but I'd rather have the afternoon sun. And then it's always a pain because I've got a tree right in front of my window too. So in the summer when it's full of leaves, the sun doesn't really get in here much anyways. I suppose it gets in here enough to help, but maybe it's paint. I forgot, this is a storybook, isn't it? This must be paint because the butterfly has paint on it, and that's right. She's chasing a butterfly through the... I don't know where, but... The binding in this book honestly sucks, though. I'm super unimpressed with that. I've only colored 2 pages and the binding's already like just ripping, and it's definitely not good. I don't know if she did different binding than her other books. I mean, I've colored in Enchanted Forest quite a bit and haven't had these problems, so... Does anybody else have problems with their Ivy book splitting apart? Lime peel, and same thing, we're going to leave a highlight where we can, but everywhere else we can just color it in if there's not enough space to leave one. I think with these ones here though, I think maybe I'm just going to color them in with the lime peel, because the chartreuse is a little bit more on the yellow side, but we're gonna have these gold stems right in front of it, and I don't really want them to mix together. And then the last is the chartreuse. Which I think I just colored all of this in with, so let's just continue. Ugh. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh well, it does look good though. Okay, back to these guys. So bronze is our next color. I think part of my problem is I usually keep all of my pencils in order, and I don't have the time for it right now to try and keep them in order. Oh, and I guess it helps if I pop this up here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the bronze out. Okay, got the puppy in with us now. Go through and finish these off as we go, I think. So I actually want to use the Deco Yellow and just the cream for this, and let's see, I want to use the Deco Yellow on the edges here, so I'm just going to color in kind of like the outlines here. Actually go back to the bronze, to this little bit here, just add a shadow. The cream is going to finish off the insides. You can always come in and add the canary yellow to that if need be, but I do definitely want the canary yellow in on the stems. So let's continue on doing that. I do want to add some of the bronze just in along the side here, because otherwise it's just looking too flat. It needs a little bit of extra there. I think that's all of them for this set of flowers here, and then we'll do this set after. So let's go in with the canary yellow first. So that's just for the stems. Okay, deco yellow for the outlines. And then cream for the inside. Alright, and then let's continue with our bronze. I think on this stem too, we're just going to kind of color in the left side slightly to create a shadow. think we'll do this color gold maybe for the other side, for the daylight side. I'm really liking that. It's fairly muted, but it's really pretty. I actually really like that. Or maybe this one. Either one, but not with the canary yellow. It's just a little too bright. It'll be nice for the dark version though. That makes no sense, but I don't know. That's just how I see it. The canary yellow is a bright color, but it's still, I guess, dark compared to these colors that we're using for the leaves. I missed that one. All right, there's one side done. I mean, we're only at an hour, not bad. Okay, I think this time let's just go through and bronze everything up. Do you think this comes down here? So I'm just gonna grab the dark umber and just darken this up slightly. Didn't really do much fading at all on this spot here for some reason, so I'm just going to come back in with the dark umber and fade that out a little bit more, because otherwise it's going to look kind of funny. And add a little bit of a shadow on the side of these. They're pretty thin, so it's a little bit tricky, but even just the slight suggestion of one might make a difference. we got all of it. I'm really nervous about the background on this one. Might have to search for some inspiration. What next? I don't really know how I want to color these, but I know I've done quite a few pages in Enchanted Forest. Is that what this is called? Yeah, Enchanted Forest. That are kind of similar. Okay. So when I colored in Enchanted Forest, I was still using this, oh, excuse me, I was still using the Scholars and really, really bright, vivid colors. So I've definitely toned it down quite a bit. So I'm not really sure what route I want to go with this. See, I was thinking of this page. I was thinking of the bluebells here, but I don't really like that. I feel like that's just a little bit plain. Let's see. This was the book with the treehouse in it, wasn't it? It's Magical Jungle I'm thinking of. It's not, but however, flipping through this gave me a little bit of inspiration. I think I'm gonna kind of steal colors from a couple pages here. So I really like these dark leaves here on this page. So I might do something similar, but have it mixed with a little bit of a lighter color. So maybe like combine these two together. And then my tiger page here, oops, sorry, I bumped you guys. My tiger page here, I love this color here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do for these flowers. I don't know about these ones yet, but these ones will be like a pinkish yellow. The bluebells will be blue, probably mixed with cream. I can't find the page that I'm thinking of. I don't really know where it is, but it's kind of like a combination like this. It's just the blues, it's like a dark blue, a lighter blue, and then cream instead of a light blue. So I'm thinking we'll go that route. So I'm going to see if I can find my colors for those pages and see how long do we have left. Okay, so we've got about half an hour. I think that should be enough time to color these flowers. So let's maybe find that color combination and color these. Okay, found all my swatches that I need, and I do like this combination even more. I did find it here. I've been meaning to go through, I gotta write down the date that I completed pages, that way I can just look at the page, see the date, and find it rather than flipping through the entire book, because there is a lot of combinations in here, or a lot of pages in here, I should say. So I found it here. This was the Magical Jungle Tiger. So this was the combination that I used for those plants. So 2 of the colors, the Deco Yellow and the Cream, we've already used in this picture, so I like that already. So, let's see, Deco Yellow and Cream. I'm just gonna actually take the time to organize these quick, get all these out of the way. And cream, there we go. So let's start off with the dark purple. You're gonna want a pretty sharp point. And because points don't last, I'm going to start on these smaller flowers. So I'm going to kind of color in close to this little center circle here, fade it out slightly, and then just create some little flicking motions to create some just added texture to the petals. I don't want them to look boring. I'm not going to worry about these tiny little circles that Johanna has drawn in here. I will bring those back out with a Posca pen. If you don't have a Posca pen or something that can go over, then I would suggest trying to leave them the best you can. Might be a little bit tricky with this flicking motion though, you're just going to have to try to avoid them. Another thing that you could do if you don't have a Posca pen, or even a yellow one, you could use a white Posca pen and you can go through with a marker and color it yellow, or you can do that with any kind of white gel pen as well. However, they're usually not really waterproof, so if you go over with a marker, it tends to smear, so you would just kind of like dot that on there so you didn't smear it around type thing. We would do the same thing kind of underneath the flowers. Let's maybe make underneath the flower darker though. Let's So let's start there. We'll have that be our starting point. Y'all know me, I can't just go through and do that on all the flowers. I have to finish them and see what they'll look like. Just gonna add some little pink strokes here too. We don't have a whole lot of room to work with on these smaller flowers, and I'm a little bit afraid that we wouldn't even be able to fit this many colors on the larger flowers either. So just have little bits here and there. I'm constantly rotating my pencil just to get kind of a sharper edge. I don't want to work the same edge too much. It helps your pencil stay pointed a little bit longer if you rotate it. Just in case you're wondering why I do that. Okay, my salmon pink already has a fairly decent point on it, so I'm just going to do the same thing, I think. These flowers are already looking just beautiful. I don't think I want the centers of these to be light. I think I kind of want them to be dark. So I'm going to go in with the dark purple. And I'm going to color them in for the most part, leaving a little bit of a highlight. And then let's go in with the black and just darken up that shadow even more. Just kind of make it so the dark purple is more of a mid-tone than the darkest shadow here. But then I actually want our salmon pink to be the highlight, I think. So it's dark, but it's still noticeable. Okay, Deco Yellow is next. I don't think we're gonna fit the cream in on this. Just kind of going backwards and putting in strokes from the top to the bottom. It's the easiest way to add color without blending out those strokes that we just put in. You can try adding the cream. I don't know if it will be noticeable or not, but we can try. Don't want to go too into the purples because I don't want to mute them. So I'm trying to kind of stick to the outside. And if there's larger areas, I'm kind of working with the same way as the line. So I wouldn't go like this. I would go like this. That way I'm not blurring them out. I want them to stay sharp looking. back to the processed red, and I'm just going to add a little bit to these little overlapped pieces. That way they don't look super bright and out of place. Let's maybe switch to the dark purple and just color this little in behind flower thingy here. I don't know what it is. Okay, so let's finish this side and then we'll finish this side and that'll be it for this part. Just going to do the exact same thing and it's going to kill our wrists, but we are going to grin and bear it and it's going to look beautiful. My wrist is already on fire. Do have room for a little bit more detail on these bigger flowers, so we're going to look at that as a good thing rather than intimidating, which it kind of is. Intimidating, not going to lie. Whew, my wrist. I don't know how I forgot that one. little bit of pink in these little curls now, and then we don't have to pull it back out later. Salmon pink. See if I can bring those down to about here. I might have a little bit of better lighting. My shelf kind of cuts off some of the lighting a little bit. Shelf is definitely very handy to have, but it can definitely be a gift and a curse. They're so pretty. Okay, only a few more. I think my time estimation was actually almost correct for once. Okay. So I would like to sharpen my dark purple again here. Still pretty sharp, but to get those really fine lines, we need a really sharp pencil. So I hate sharpening my pencil. So I'm just going to come in and just put the color in for all of these flowers and then sharpen it, because then it'll stay a little bit sharper. While we're at it, we might as well finish off the centers as well. Okay. Oops. So there we go. Oops, forgot that one. Okay, we'll do that one last. Make sure it's in frame too. Nope, last. Okay. Process red is next. Honestly, I would leave them like this too. That is beautiful. You wouldn't even have to color in the rest. Just leave the paper. Super pretty. I think that's all of them covered with that color. So let's go in with the salmon pink. Before we forget, let's color in all of these centers here. then also, before we forget, let's come in with the black on these guys as well. And our last color. Thank goodness. So my hand is going to fall off. I think I did this one already, but I'll touch it up just in case. I know I did this one. Can't remember which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. And the problem with the creams, it does make a difference, but not enough that you're really able to tell. I think that's all of them though. So let's go in with our Posca pen now. And I'm just gonna kind of loosely bring out all of these lines back with the white, I think. What do we think of that? I don't know about that. I think I might want to go black. Don't really know if I want to commit with black Posca, but my felt pen is kind of dead. Yeah, I've got another one here. Okay, I think I like the black better. So just gonna go over all of these with black. Maybe add a couple extras. I don't like that she did 2 per each because it just makes it look, I don't know, not organic. I'm also just putting little dots all over the center of the flowers to kind of make it look sparkly. Why not, right? This is a magical storybook, technically. There we go. So I'm going to zoom out here. So that is what it's looking like so far. I am actually really excited to see how this turns out. I know I always say that, but I am a little bit concerned about the background. I really want to stick to my idea. I'm just not really sure what colors I would use. Or how I would go about it. Because one thing is with doing night sky backgrounds is you're going to want black. However, using pencil to color in black is not very convenient. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about that, but I'm going to look into it, see if I can figure out some ideas, maybe come up with something. But yeah, that is what it's looking like for now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. I hope you're having fun following along, and hopefully you're as excited as I am to see how this turns out. But yeah, with all of that said, hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, bye, take care.
Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me?